Welcome back, mother lovers, to a brand new episode of Last Call at McLaren's, the best damn How I Met Your Mother podcast on the internet. I am your host, Josh, here with my best bud, John. How you doing, man?
It has been a long couple weeks, but I am here.
Yes.
Persevering through it all.
We have been off for a couple of weeks, but we are back.
That is my fault, ladies and gentlemen. I am sorry. There have been a lot of shit going on with my family lately, and, family first.
It's true, but I hope that you all enjoyed our recent episode of Last Call After Hours. We talked childhood cartoons. It was a good time.
I mean, we have a lot of conversations like that if we were smart, we would record more of, because,
that's true.
Clearly when something comes up, we could just throw something like that up there and be like, here's some After Hours.
That's true. That's why I've been keeping it rolling after we record.
That is true.
Just kind of get some gold in there.
Today, after we're done recording the How I Met Your Mother podcast, you should hop on over to our other podcast, the Off the Roast with John and Josh, as I will be reviewing the Broken Skull IPA.
That's right. Should be interesting. We'll see how it all goes. But today we're talking about season 2, episode 12, First Time in New York. That's right.
I mean, the city's so nice, they named it twice.
That they did. This episode aired on January 8th of 2007. It was the first episode of that year. There was a big break before that, so we had almost a month between episodes here. And hey, we took a couple weeks off ourselves, so why not?
A couple weeks too. So
it was directed by Pamela Fryman, written,
Shocker.
Right? Written, but I think it's the next two episodes are not. So we'll see how that goes.
But I mean, she directs the most part. Like
she does.
Directed
it's like all but like 12 or something like that. It's
yeah,
kind of crazy. Out of like over 200, it's crazy. And written by Gloria Calderon Collette. This is her third of 5 episodes that she did on the show. Previously, she did The Duel and Drumroll Please. And she will go,
my favorite episodes.
Right? And she will go on to do Showdown and How I Met Everyone Else.
Nice.
So, yeah. And that episode, actually, she won an award for. So
the How I Met Everyone Else?
Yeah.
Nice.
She apparently also comes back later on as an actress in an episode, playing a character named Rachel in The Wedding Bride. Yeah, thought that was an interesting little tidbit. You don't see that
really
very
is.
often. You don't usually see the writers just pop in as a random actress. So
I mean, that's actually kind of cool though that she did.
Yeah, I honestly could. I was like, I don't remember her, so it was probably a very small part. But yeah, Wedding Bride. When that comes back around, I'm sure we will talk about it. So the summary for this episode: Robin tries to talk her younger sister, who is visiting New York City, not to lose her virginity. The gang all recount tales of their own first times. That's right, John. Do you remember your first time?
I do.
Yeah. Do you care to share? You don't have to. It's cool.
Do you not remember the story?
Oh, man, it's been so long. It's been so long.
So I was quasi dating this girl. Her name was Katie. We were in someone else's house with like 3 other couples in the room. Decided to give it a go, and she tried to convince me that it wasn't gonna fit because of how thick it was.
There it is, folks. You heard that here, right here, ladies.
I cannot believe I literally just told that story.
Like a baguette.
Oh, fuck.
That's right.
Dude, so tell yours. I mean, come on. Don't be shy.
This was with your cousin on a waterbed, on her mom's waterbed. I gotta say, waterbed sex, decent.
I mean, you know what they say, man. No woman can resist the motion of the ocean.
I enjoyed it. Yeah, I enjoyed it quite a bit. not as funny of a story as yours.
Oh, but I mean, does it have to be funny though? I mean,
no, and not as like bad as some of the stories that we hear in this episode either.
That is true.
Because yeah, you always hear about people having terrible experiences their first time, and they showcase that here. That didn't happen for me, so I was glad about that.
I mean, I wouldn't say my first time was the best. I've definitely had better sex since then, but
oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I definitely got a memorable story out of my first time.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't one of those terrible moments that people tend to talk about, though. So, but we got future Ted starting things off here, telling his kids about how it took Robin a bit longer to say "I love you." And we kind of run through a montage of moments between he and Robin, ending with her saying falafel.
Falafel. Yeah. I mean, in all fairness, he was a little bit of an I love you slut when they first met.
Yes, I mean, she was an I love you prude.
Oh, I mean, no doubt. But I mean, like, in all fairness, I think Ted is one of those guys that every guy strives to be. We try to be that perfect guy who has, like, those moments where you can just strive to be so smooth and perfect and like on point. But I think Ted's major problem is that every time he has that moment where he's finally being the good guy, he does something to sabotage himself and he turns out to be a dick.
It's true, man. He definitely sabotages a lot. But I think he does really well this episode. You know,
this episode he does great. I'm just saying Ted is a saboteur.
But he kind of steps away from that self-sabotaging streak in this episode a bit.
He does,
and
this is one of the very few where, this is one of the very few where he steps up to be the man that we all know Ted Mosby can be.
It's true,
like, and he really comes through for Robin in this episode. So that's
very true. During this scene, we also learned that Robin's little sister is coming to town, her little sister Katie, and Ted suggests taking her to see the Empire State Building.
Yeah.
Which becomes a major crux of this episode.
Becomes a major euphemism as well.
That is true.
Also, I think it's funny that both Ted, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to...
No, man.
Okay. I think it's really funny that both Ted and Robin have younger siblings, but we only ever meet them, like, once.
We meet Robin's twice because she's at the wedding.
Yes, she is at the wedding, but like between like now and then, it's like 8 seasons where she's just gone.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, she's just up in Canada doing her thing.
No, I know, but I mean, it's the same with Ted's little sister. She moves to New York, and we only ever see her once.
Yeah, it's true. We should theoretically have seen her far more often because that was the whole thing. Was that he signs a lease. I mean, obviously he jumping way ahead, but co-signs a lease for her to live in New York, and yet they live in the same city and they never see each other.
Yeah,
at least not on in episodes.
Ted has a little sister, gets hotter every day, and if I ever meet her boobies I will play. Oh, sister.
The fact that you remember that is awesome.
That's one of my favorite ones, man.
It's good stuff, man.
I love
when that episode comes back around. You're opening the show singing that song. Just saying. That's the way.
Because I love how Barney's like, what? Jewish people can be singing too, or something like that. It's something about Jewish people.
I might even have you swivel around on a chair and then do it. Yes. We'll see. We'll plan it out.
Fair.
Then we get a scene at the airport. Robin and Lily are there waiting for Katie. They're talking about what I called Falafelgate.
Falafelgate.
And we learned that Robin has never said I love you to a guy before.
Shocker.
Yeah, she usually takes what she calls the 3-week exit, prompting a flashback of Barney explaining the relationship exits to the gang. So this was something new in this. We've never seen it before, but apparently it was something that he had talked about in the past.
I'm pretty sure this comes up back one other time because I remembered this fluently, and I was like, this can't have just been like a throwaway flashback. Like there had to have been another.
Now, I don't think it ever came up before because we would have absolutely talked about
it. Absolutely.
But it might come up again later. You know what I mean?
I'm excited to see if it does because I really remember the freeway analogy.
Yeah. So like he says, relationships are like a freeway, and there are multiple exits. So Barney goes through them. He says 6 hours, 4 days, 3 weeks, which is the one that Robin seems to like to do. 7 months, which Barney says is where Ted and Robin are going to break up, which he's wrong because they actually last exactly 1 year. They break up on their 1 year anniversary. Then 1.5 years, 18 years, and death. Now, I don't know about you, but I feel like there should be something between 1.5 and 8.
There should be.
Like most people talk about the 7-year itch. So you would think that like 7 years would be in between there. You know what I mean?
You would think so.
So like, I don't know. It just seems seems like way too big of a gap.
There's also my favorite thing to do, which isn't even an exit. It's pulling an illegal U-turn right before you pull onto the freeway.
I feel like that's almost like the 6 hours.
I mean, it could be 6 hours, but sometimes you're like, oh, I'm really interested in getting on this throughway here. Oh, fuck. Nope.
Would you consider that the lemon law? I mean, that's pretty close, right? I feel like that could fall into that.
I feel like I've said too much today. I'm out.
Yes. So back at the airport, Robin says she usually finds something that she dislikes about the guy that she's with. And Lily jumps in saying that she once dated a guy who could only go to the bathroom when classical music was playing. And she reveals that actually it was Marshall. This joke does come back later on, which I really like. But I'll be honest, I really wish we could have gotten like a flashback of this or something. I think it would have been hilarious. Just seeing that happen. Or because like he's not like that now. She talks about how she says to Robin, you know, it'll happen when it happens, which is the same advice I gave to Marshall to get him over the classical music thing. And I'm like, well, I want to see all of that, man. Like
I was gonna say, I really thought about it because this episode now I've watched like 3 times recently because of preparing to record this episode on multiple occasions.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself on the last watching, I'm like, classical music. I'm like, I could see Marshall in the bathroom trying to take a piss to like the William Tell Overture or like Beethoven's Ninth.
Right? A little Mozart.
You know, you just hear the and then you just hear the he's like, oh.
That would be pretty funny.
Or you hear the
now, what would have been hilarious if she had been like, he still does this sometimes, you know, kind of, and then like just like randomly in an episode, you just hear classical music coming from the bathroom.
It would have been really funny to have brought back during. Well, it would have already happened, but it would have been funnier if it would have happened during the episode where they're locked in the bathroom.
That would have been.
And funny. he's like, oh man, I really gotta pee, but I can't turn on the radio.
So then he could just start humming it to himself. Right? Or like Lily starts like humming it or something, right? Come on.
That would be great.
That would have been awesome. It would have been so good. I would have loved that so much. But Robin is worried about complicating things with Ted if she says I love you, which I totally get. You know, it can if you say things too fast. I mean, look what happened with Ted. You know, he pulled a Ted Mosby.
Have you ever said I love you too soon and it's ruined things?
Oh, I absolutely have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to talk about it?
I mean, it happened multiple times. So.
Oh, bro, you Ted Mosby'd yourself?
Oh, dude, I was a total Ted Mosby back in the day.
I think my favorite story of ever saying I love you too soon, and it turned out not to be as too soon as I thought it was, but it would, without giving names or full details, it would be 2008. It would be the dorm room when I was half asleep, and you were sleeping with the other half, like, feet away. And I remember rolling over and being like, I love you.
So you pulled a Jesse from How I Met Your Father.
Yes, but I wasn't 100% asleep when I said it. I was just like, I was dozing.
Yeah.
And like I was going out and I was just like, I love you. And she was like, aw, I love you too. And I was like, I could have said I love you too. But instead, no. I was looking at my Belle Biv DeVoe CD. You know, that girl is poison.
Oh, damn. Good stuff.
That's when you start mixing in other shows, folding it in there. See?
Oh, absolutely. So then her sister Katie shows up, played by Lucy Hale of Pretty Little Liars fame, and her boyfriend shows up.
First
And
off, this dude is. Let me tell you, I've met a few guys like this in my life.
Yeah.
And for those of you who are up on current events, I just want to Will Smith him so fucking hard.
Dude,
I'm glad that you literally almost just spit your water out.
I did. I almost spit my water out. Robin says it perfectly later on when she calls him a douche with a faux hawk.
Yes.
Because that's what he is. He's a total douche.
Well, I love how like he starts like quasi hitting on Robin and
and Lily.
And Lily, thank you.
Yeah.
And at one point he says something to Lily and she's like, "You say things."
Oh yeah, she's like because he sees her, he's like he like kind of points at both of them and he's like hot.
Yes.
And she's like, and Robin's like, "You say things." Because she's not feeling this, man. She knows what's happening here. And apparently they've only been together for like 2 months. So it has not been long. And
I can't believe in 2 months they haven't had sex.
Yeah. I mean,
in all fairness, her little sister is a virgin.
Yeah, so I feel like it's the situation we see later on with Lily and Marshall where Lily wants to make it special.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Katie's do. She wants to make it special. And
okay. So fun side story. Is there ever a right time?
I mean, you can try to make it, quote unquote special, but most of the time, no.
Okay. Sub question to that question. What was the quickest you've ever had sex with somebody on a date? Or like in a series of like being with somebody?
Yeah.
Example, I had sex on the first date once.
Oh, you mean like how far into it? Yes, first date. Yeah, first date. Yeah.
Respect.
Yeah.
I remember just being like, I don't think there's ever going to be a second date. And she was like, probably not. I'm like, you want to fuck? And she was like, okay. And I was like, fucking A.
See, yours was like first date and then done. Mine was first date and then like 11 years of a relationship and a kid.
Shit. Yeah. Fair. I don't think I realized that you two had sex that soon.
Yeah.
Man, if I would have known that, man, I would have been like, red flag. Penalty flag on the play.
Nah, I don't regret any of that stuff, I got my kid out of it. No regrets.
Not even a single letter?
Not even a single letter. No regrets.
That's my credo.
That's my credo. Oh my goodness.
Fuck. I'm glad that we go to the same place on this shit.
I gotta watch that movie again. It's so funny. For those of you who don't know, I'm talking about We're the Millers, and if you have not seen that movie, I highly recommend it. It's hilarious. It's so
Jason Sudeikis and
Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah. Emma Roberts.
Will Poulter, I think is his name. So good.
Great fucking movie.
Nick Offerman's in that movie.
So is Amy Poehler.
Yes, it's so good. Go and watch it.
Oh, man.
But back to this. At the bar, Robin, she's freaking out because she doesn't want her baby sister to sleep with this douchey guy.
I don't want my little sister to sleep with that douchey guy either.
Yeah, I'll be honest, even if it wasn't her first time, no, this douchey guy don't deserve that. No way.
He's the kind of guy who's going to crack a Monster at 8 a.m. and then by like noon be like, yo, babe, like, I'm out of energy drinks and Newports. Can you go get me some?
Give me a 6 or a Red Bull.
He's a total Kyle.
He is, man. They picked the perfect name for this kid. He is a total, because that's his name. His name is Kyle. And
fuck! I didn't think about that.
Yeah, he is a total Kyle. It's kismet. It's perfect. But yeah, so she's freaking out and she wants help from the gang, and they're really not being helpful at all. At all, man.
Is there really any more way to be supportive in that situation than they were? I mean, yes.
Yeah, no, probably not. It's just funny because they're like, a speech to convince a woman not to have sex. I don't have one of those.
I mean, it's true though. Every person's gonna have sex at their own speed. I mean, like I said, I've had sex with someone on a first date before. I've also waited like 4 months to have sex with somebody before.
Yeah.
It really just depends on. Actually, I've also had sex with somebody before we started dating.
That's also
like
true.
Went on a date.
Yeah.
I've also had sex with somebody that you ended up dating.
That's also true. We've done some interesting things, my friend.
I feel like that's an episode of my podcast that we should be.
There you go. There you go. Put that in the notes.
We will come back to this on an episode of Simply Sam and Jay.
Yes.
QVD.
It'll be like a crossover.
If you want to know where these sex stories go, tune in to Simply Sam with Jay on the second Tuesday of next month.
Second Tuesday of never.
March 31st.
March 31st. That's only 2 days away from our recording day.
I know.
And it's a real day, so.
Yeah, April.
Yes. Also, apparently, Robin has already had 3 scotch and sodas, and it's just hitting 2 p.m. Yeah. I mean, I've been there before. You know, I know you've been there before.
Whoa! Whoa!
I mean, you're literally getting ready to review a beer can, can of beer.
It's also my, 6
and it's
PM,
9
bro.
a.m.
I work third shift. I'm getting out of work. It's like my 5.
I'm just saying.
If I worked 9 to 5, I'd just be getting home.
Random people walk in, they're like, "What are you drinking a beer at 9 a.m.?" And that's all they see. That's all they see, man. No matter when you went to work. Just saying.
Listen, if they've got a problem with it, then they can get the fuck out of my house.
Yeah, why are they in your house anyways? You don't even know, because I said it was random people. You don't even know who they are. Why are you letting random people in your house?
Why are you inviting random people into my house?
Because it makes for a funny bit.
Does it, though?
It does. It made me laugh.
Somebody's going to get shot.
In my head. Someone's going to get Will Smith.
Oh, fuck.
So, I mean, or should I say someone's going to get Chris rocked? I don't know. Because he's
in that
gets
instance,
left.
I think they would be getting Chris rocked.
Yeah. Chris got rocked. Anywho, this is not Oscar talk. This is How I Met Your Mother talk. At the Empire State Building, Ted is giving the gang some fun facts that no one actually finds fun at all.
I was going to say, nobody finds them fun at all.
No, not even a little bit. They're all trying to convince Katie to wait, except for Barney, of course, who thinks, you just go and you do it.
I got to say, this scene, do you remember the one Social Outcast promo where it's the 4 of them, and they're talking about, being ready for WrestleMania?
Yeah.
And, there's the one thing where it's what's the line? It's, I'm waiting for marriage. Oh. And Adam Rose is like, you missed out on a lot of fun.
Yeah. He's totally the Barney.
It's honestly what I think of, when anybody's like, oh man, I'm waiting. I'm like, yeah, you missed fun.
It's true. Marshall says that in college he signed an abstinence pledge. Or was it high school? It might have been high school. He signed an abstinence pledge and told her not to do drugs except pot. And this is the final time that we hear a reference to marijuana or pot that's not sandwiches. So,
well, it's also funny.
Drink it in, John. Drink it in, because that's the end of it.
Laugh is that Marshall and Lily share their story, and it's not the last time we hear a version of this story.
It's true.
Or is it the first?
And it's not the first time we've heard about this story either.
I was gonna say, because didn't we hear about it during the
it's in the pilot.
Yeah.
They talk about
and Ted's like, when someone's on the top bunk, it too
Yeah.
Because I was like, we've heard part of this story.
Yeah.
Just like when Barney tells his, they retcon it later on, and I'm really glad they did that.
Yeah. The continuity in this show, once in a while, is off. But they do such a damn good job of weaving things from earlier stuff in and out. It's so good. I love it so much. But Katie says that, she's like, you had sex at 16, Robin. She's like, how did you know that? Well, I found your diary. And Barney hops in and tries to offer her $10,000 for that diary.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the first time he's done shit like that.
You know what? It like rewatching this, what it made me think of. It made me think of the scene in How I Met Your Father that we just recently watched, where the lady jumps to $15,000 for that handbag. Because Barney just drops. He's like $10,000. He doesn't try. He doesn't try to be like, "Yo, I'll give you $500 for that." Okay, I'll give you $2,000 for that. He doesn't try to make his way up. No, boom, $10,000. Give me that diary. He just
Money
drops
it.
It's the fact that he could just drop $10,000 tells you he makes a shit ton of money. It's
well, I mean,
insane.
in all fairness, we've already discovered about Robin Sparkles at this point. He knows that diary's probably got some good shit in it.
Oh, probably, yeah. Especially at that time in her life. Yeah. Yep, you gotta love the Robin Sparkles dance. Gotta love it. Katie says, you know what? She's doing it. She doesn't care what Robin says. She's doing it. She even put it up on her MySpace page, John.
Which is a really dated reference.
And it made me feel so old because I'm just like, oh my God, I had a MySpace page. And now I feel really old.
Dude, you had two.
No, I only had one.
You had one for Scotty, dude.
Did I?
Yep.
Because I know I have a Facebook page for Scotty.
I know you do.
Yeah. Huh. I wish I could remember like login information because I would totally love to be able to just like log back in. I don't know. I don't remember anything. I don't remember my username. I don't know what email I used. I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure if I thought hard enough, I could crack mine.
Yeah.
Mine would have been a combination of one of
I don't even know if like that page would even exist. Like if I could even
From what I hear, most of them still do as long as you can remember your login.
I should just go to MySpace and just like try to find myself. I think that would be really funny to see if I could actually find let's see who was still on my top 8.
Yo, motherfucker! If I'm not at least top 2, man.
Oh, I don't know, man. You made it fell to number 3.
I pissed off so many people because like I dated girls and I want to make them my number 1. You were always my number 1.
Yeah, buddy.
I mean, you're my fucking ride or die.
Hells to the yeah.
The only girl I ever dated that never had a problem with you being number 1 was Sarah. Yeah. Sarah didn't give a shit. She knew she was important.
I feel like my number 1 would either be, because at that time, it would either be you or Jen. I feel like it would have to be.
Yeah.
I don't know who it would have been.
No, I'm 95% sure I was always your number 2.
It would have had to have been one of you two. Because who the fuck? There's nobody else that it could have been.
Theoretically, I mean, hypothetically, could have been Mary.
No, that was way after. Because I signed up for Facebook while I was still with Jen.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So, yeah, I was done with MySpace long before that. So.
I wasn't. I was still using MySpace right until I started my Facebook.
Kids, for those of you out there who don't know, MySpace was an early social networking app, the predecessor to Facebook. You could even have a song that played when you opened your page.
And it taught you
it was awesome.
Coding.
Facebook needs to step up their fucking game. Just saying. Make it more interesting. Give me a top 8. Give me a fucking song I could just have that plays when you go to my page.
Oh, fucking top 8. I'm pretty sure you can do the song thing.
Oh, really?
I'm pretty sure there's a way to put a song on your page, but fucking top 8, man. There's going to be a way to start wars all over again.
Fucking A, man. We're talking about, the possibility of World War III over with fucking Russia. Nah, man. Top 8, that's what's going to cause it.
Like,
that'll cause we'll have World War III happening, but then top 8 comes back, and that'll cause like the new Civil War, and it'll just erupt because of the top 8.
Civil rights, bro. People are like, why am I not in your top 8? You're like, well, sorry.
Well, I had to make a choice. It was either you or Skeezy Joe, and he gave me a burrito last week, so he made my number 8.
Dude, that is how people actually chose their top 8, though.
Yeah.
Like, you could make my top 8, but what are you going to do for me? And people are like, oh my God, I'll put you in my top 8.
It was such a wild fucking system that people were doing.
Like I said, then after a while, they started like basic coding shit, and they would allow you to have like the wallpaper behind your thing. So, I mean, like, it was really a fucking wild time. And for those of you who don't know, just go search, like, MySpace profile backgrounds and shit. Like, it was wildly interesting.
Yeah, man. It was literally like the Wild West back then. You know, Facebook has kind of just like homogenized everything when it comes to that. But like MySpace was a crazy time.
And kids,
man.
For those of you who don't know, Facebook wasn't originally designed for like the general public.
No.
It was designed for college kids. And I'm pretty sure it was designated to one campus originally.
Yeah, they were rated first. Go watch The Social Network, kids, first off, because they do a pretty good job of talking about it. But it started off like this site where they were like rating women on campus, like co-eds.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, you know, like giving them a score or whatever. And it kind of morphed from that into this social networking on the campus thing, and then it wound up going worldwide and everything. But yeah, it's crazy how it just kind of exploded, you know, especially because like that was already a thing, you know, MySpace was already there.
Yeah.
And it, you know, it was a thing, but like it was not as big as Facebook has become.
No.
You know what I mean, it never exploded the way Facebook did. So I don't know why Facebook
Did you Zuckerberg
me? Yep, you Zuckerberg me. You fucking Zuckerberg me. But so then they're discussing how old they were when they lost their virginity. Barney gets a bit squirrely here and starts making up a story, which happens to be Dirty Dancing.
Yeah, and I love that.
Yeah. Marshall complains about a song being stuck in his head because of this.
Yeah,
and he looks up at the sky and he's like, "Damn you, Swayze!"
Yeah,
and
She's Like the Wind.
And it got me thinking. I was like, oh, yeah, you know, because, you know, Swayze died. And I was like, wait a minute. This is 2007. Swayze didn't die until 2009. So why the fuck is he looking up at the sky?
I don't know.
It really, like, kind of like, because, like, I feel like for a long time, I always just assumed he did that because Swayze was dead. And so, like, he's, you know, looking up to heaven to say, damn you to Swayze. But he's not dead. I don't think he was in good shape at this point, but he wasn't dead yet. No. He was still alive.
No.
So, like, I don't know, man. It was kind of weird.
And kids,
like, weird.
Those of you who don't know what Dirty Dancing is, it's a movie that stars Jennifer Grey and Patrick Swayze. And for those of you who don't know who Patrick Swayze is, he was the hottest fucking actor in the 80s. That man could do no wrong. He had abs. He had hair. He was an action star. He could dance. He could do it all.
He could rip a dude's throat out.
Roadhouse.
Roadhouse.
And just in case you've never seen Dirty Dancing, nobody puts baby in a corner.
That's true. They don't. Don't even think about it.
Kids!
Kids! Yes. We are the old men who tell kids about things that they have no idea about.
Yo, if you don't know by now, we're those dudes who stole your granddad's clothes. We look incredible.
And now all of the Gen Zers have shut off this podcast and said, fuck these guys.
We lost them in fucking MySpace. We've just been ranting for 10 minutes about nothing.
Oh, yeah. They're like, MySpace. We're out.
We're out.
We are out. And
like,
I don't think we're coming back. Yep. Fucking boomers.
Oh, shut up, Brandon.
So then we get a flashback of Marshall and Lily's first time. This is where we finally see it. She, you know, Lily wanted to wait, make it super special, wanted to wait till New Year's Eve, rent a lake house, light some candles, play some classical music.
Yeah, which Marshall's like, please don't.
No, please don't. It's a long story. Which I'm like, ha! They brought the joke back. That's great. Love, because like I don't think I ever thought about that joke ever.
No.
On all the times I've watched it until now, because like I have to pay way more attention to every little thing that happens in the show, and never thought about that classical music joke. And I'm so glad that they brought it back later on in the episode. And like I said, this whole thing mentioned in the pilot, they end up having sex. They don't wait. It lasts 12 minutes. And we discovered Ted is there the whole time, which I think is funny because like if you're trying to like really remember everything that's ever happened in the show, which most people don't with brand new shows. It's just, especially sitcoms, you probably forgot about that from the pilot. You know what I mean? And so the fact that they brought it back and showed us that, I thought was fantastic. You know, it was a great piece of continuity for the show.
We thought you were sleeping. It's common sense. When the bottom bunk moves, the top bunk moves too.
We should go again. Please don't.
We gave you the Walkman.
Yeah, I gave you my Walkman.
Like, that makes it better.
Oh yeah, but like he says in the pilot, that thing's gonna move, man. It's gonna move. And so then Robin shares her story, and her boyfriend, they're about to get going. Robin's there; she's got braces on. She's young, and the guy winds up like they almost get going, and he stops and he's like, "I'm gay. I can't do this." And they don't actually go all the way. Essentially, they played a little game we like to call just the tip. He just splashed around in the shallow end a little bit, as she says.
I mean, that's a good analogy.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, that story that she tells right there reminds me of JD and Kim.
Oh, and Kim, yeah.
Dude,
their story is way worse, though.
Well, yeah, but I love how JD is like, I might not have invaded the territory, but there was friendly fire on the perimeter.
I don't even think he got just the tip, though.
No, he says he didn't.
Yeah, he didn't get anything. This guy at least got something
before he even had a chance, and essentially got it all over.
Yeah.
He got it all over.
He got it all over. That's all that matters. And yes, you can apparently get pregnant from that.
I mean,
so be careful, folks. Be careful out there. It's a dangerous world. It's a dangerous world.
If this was a penis, put the condom on.
Yes.
Start at the tip and work your way down.
It's true. If you are confused, you can go and watch an episode of Parks and Rec where Leslie Knope literally.
Oh my God, the cucumber
with bananas. It's a bunch of bananas.
Oh yeah.
To a whole bunch of old people.
A whole bunch of old people.
It's good stuff. So Lily says she doesn't think that this counts. And I wanted to ask you, what is your opinion? Which side are you on? Do you think it counts as losing your virginity or not?
I'm torn on this because I'd like to say no, it doesn't count as losing your virginity or having sex. But if we don't count just the tip, then that means that one of our jokes of making fun of somebody doesn't count because all he got in somebody's mouth was just the tip, and then decided, whoa, I have to stop. And I can't make fun of him just as much if he didn't technically get a blowjob.
Well, no, I mean, I think we could still definitely make fun of him. I don't think that's going to change at all. But I honestly agree with Lily. I mean, you did some stuff, you fooled around with some stuff, but I don't consider, like, to me, that's not, especially it's like,
I'm probably not going to call it sex,
done.
But I'm going to,
you know what I mean? Because that's literally all.
So I've had this moment where I've had just the head in, and like, I can't talk about this.
Yeah. So it's, but it's just
never mind.
It's just like, unless it's like, okay, here's the scenario. Because apparently this happens with Scooter, her high school boyfriend.
Yeah.
So unless it's like he does it and it's just like back and forth, like they're doing it, but he's only, like Jay from Jay and Silent Bob, it's half whole, right?
Half
he's
whole.
like doing quarter. You know what I mean? If that's the case,
4 quarters make $1. I
think I can count it. But like if you look at Robin's case, where I'm pretty sure it was a boop and then done, no. I can't count that. I would not count that.
I'm still talking over here that I just started walking through the story without even fucking thinking about that. This is going to get posted on the internet.
Oh, man.
It's like, let me tell you this story. Like,
and that's why the folks keep coming back, man. Right here, these reasons. But yeah, I don't think I would count it. Like I said, at least in Robin's instance, I don't think I would count. I think I'm on Lily's side here.
I'm impartial. Like I do think it counts, but I don't think it counts. I think it really just depends on how much of the penis really penetrated.
Yeah, that's what I said. I think it's literally just a tip, if that even. And I don't think it counts. But Marshall freaks out about it, because he didn't, as far as he knew, he was the
her
only guy,
first.
and now there's another guy who may have stormed the beach a little bit,
Storm Normandy.
dipped their toes in the water a little bit, so to speak, and he's not happy about it.
I mean, would you? Would you be happy?
I mean, I guess if like our whole relationship identity was based on we are the only two people who we have, like, we are the only ones that we have been with, and that is it, then maybe, but like people, have sex lives. It is what it is. But like I said, if our entire relationship identity was what theirs is, I can understand why he would be a bit upset.
Yeah.
Because everything he thought, isn't quite what he thought it was, but yeah, he comes around later on.
He does.
But then Katie comes back in from smoking her cloves. Which fucking cloves, man. Like
kids.
I think you could probably explain this better than me.
Oh man, cloves are a very older brand cigarette. They're like really thin and really long,
and they're black, right?
Yeah, they're black,
and they're almost like a mini cigar. Like they smelled almost like that, and she's like, it was weird. I don't know what the fuck the deal with those was. Do they even still make those? I don't even know.
I haven't seen cloves in a long time. I think they went like discontinued.
So weird.
Kids, they're pretty much today's version of a vape. Or yesteryear's version of a vape, but they were actual cigarettes.
Yeah.
Not these fruity fucking fruit juice things that people smoke now.
Hey man, you seem to love it, so hey.
I mean, mine relaxes me and gets me into a mellow state.
And what flavor are you puffing today?
Well, the only flavor that I do puff, which is koi, it is blue raspberry dragon fruit.
Ooh, that sounds pretty good. Nice. There you go. A little CBD for your folks. We don't condone underage anything.
Yes. I do not condone underage smoking, vaping, or drinking.
If you are of age and you want to have some calming methods, go for it. Go for it. That's what we say here.
Hell yeah.
All about that. All about that. So Katie says that she's just going to leave and go see Kyle. She and Robin kind of get into it. And, this is where she kind of confronts Robin and says, well, do you love Ted?
Yeah.
And she hesitates. And so Ted sees that she's like kind of freaking out a little bit, pulls her off to the side, and they talk. She's freaking out. She gives this carpool analogy, which I thought was kind of brilliant, and it fits so well because, like, I don't want to get in the carpool lane because what's in the carpool lane? A giant diamond. And it's like, that really does like work as an analogy for relationships, man.
It does.
Like I never thought about it really until this episode, and I've always thought that was such a cool little, like, I don't know where the writers where she came up with this. Like, I don't know if it's something that, because before this show, I had never heard that, like that thought had never crossed my mind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Maybe it was just personal thought process that they wrote.
Maybe she was in the carpool lane one day. She's like, oh, diamond. I'm with my husband. That's funny. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe. You never know. But I thought it was pretty, I liked it. I liked it quite a bit. It fit really well. And, her freak out, it's I feel like it's warranted, mainly because she's never done this before. She's never felt this way before. I think she's just really, really afraid. Just afraid of these feelings because they're new to her, and she doesn't want to fuck things up with Ted. You know what I mean?
I get it.
Yeah, totally understand. But Ted, like we said at the beginning, man, he really pulls his shit together in this episode.
Hell yeah, he does.
He's like the perfect guy in this episode. He really is.
It's very reminiscent of like season 4, season 3, when like he does like the perfect date for Stella.
The 2-minute date.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Like
see those glimpses in Ted. It's like, oh, you could be the perfect guy, man. What are you doing with all this other bullshit that you do?
hell yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean, like, just think of like how happy he could have had. Like I know not every relationship is going to be like the perfect girl who's going to lead to like marriage, but think of like, oh god, what was her name? The birthday girl that he dates twice.
oh shit, I don't.
I wanted to say Karen, but it's not Karen.
No, I don't remember her name.
But you know who I'm talking about. It's the one who learns Krav Maga.
It's my birthday.
It's my birthday.
Yeah.
Think about if he could have just gotten past some of the shit that was going on there. They could have had a really great relationship because they were really good together.
Yeah, they were.
Also, I found out that
he could have just moved to Germany too and been with Victoria. He was all hung up on Robin.
Don't even get me started on that. I will Will Smith him.
I feel like that is an instance where he absolutely deserved to be
like he threw away. Like I get he wants Robin. It's all about Robin.
Yeah.
Fucking get it.
Yeah.
He's Batman. He needs Robin. But I will fucking 100 times over Will Smith him in the face because he should have been with Victoria.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Or Tracy. He gets Tracy at the end, but
that's true.
I was watching.
If she hadn't passed away, they would have stayed together. You know that.
Yeah.
They were madly in love. And
they really deserve each other.
Took them a long time after, and it wasn't a long time for the fans, and I think that's why a lot of fans dislike that ending. But it was a long time for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like, what, 6 years?
Yeah.
Like, that's a long time. You know? It really is.
And I think that's one of the things that always bugs me. Like, I watched this clip on YouTube the other day where it was like the best of Ted and Tracy. And it shows like all the shit that leads up to like the two of them meeting in Farhampton. And there's the scene where he goes and knocks on the door and he's like, hey, you don't know me, but this is who I am. And in 45 days, we're going to meet.
Dude, that scene rips me apart every time.
Yeah. And that's it. The first couple times I watched the show, that was a throwaway scene for me. I'm like, oh, he's like, I want to spend these 45 days with you. But then when I really thought about what he's saying and knowing every fucking time she's not going to be around.
Yeah.
He's saying, I want those 45 days with you because I know I'm not going to have you. Yeah. And that fucking hits me, man. Like that,
dude,
fucking hurts.
It rips me apart every time because they tell you for multiple seasons without telling you she's dead.
Yeah.
They do. And
no, you're 100% correct.
Realistically, you don't really know it until you rewatch the show, but it's there, and it's wild to pick up on those things. It's
like the last time I did the series watch through, I got to season 9, and they do the episode where they're at the Farhampton. I think it's one of the last couple of episodes, and they're doing the thing, and he's like, this time last year, I was sitting at this table, and this is what I was saying.
Yeah.
Or no.
Well, they telegraph it again in that season with when he mentions
what kind of mother doesn't come to their daughter.
Yeah.
And
he starts to cry.
Yeah. And it hits.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, that fucking like, oh, I can't. Let's get back to this episode.
Man, I feel like when we get to those episodes, there's certain episodes, I feel like it's gonna be real hard to get through talking about.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? There are definitely some that we may shed tears on this show.
I know there's one coming in a couple seasons that's really gonna affect you, and I'm not
ready for
that one.
It's it may affect you too. We'll see how it goes.
Oh, I know it's gonna affect
me. Yeah.
It affected me before,
That's true. So back to this. Robin calls Ted an "I love you slut," and Ted says, "Well, if I'm an I love you slut, then you're an I love you prude." And then he takes back his "I love you" and gives it to this random guy at the Empire State Building, who was apparently about to jump and kill himself. And I'm like, every time I watch this, I'm like, man, this gets a little dark real fast out of nowhere.
Yeah, and because it's a throwaway line where he's like, "I love you," and the guy's like, "Thanks, man." I was about to go up there and jump.
Yeah.
And you're just like,
what? Yeah.
He's like, instantly, he's like, oh, thanks, man. I was about to go up there and jump. And he turns around.
Yeah.
I'm like, somebody needs to go after that guy.
Probably just kind of move on from it. You know what I mean? They don't even pay any attention to that.
Yeah.
They just, and like every time I watch it, I'm just like a little in shock because it comes back up later too, which I think is awesome. It comes back up like real soon here.
Yeah.
Because we go over Marshall and Lily, and they're kind of getting into it and everything. And he says that this thing with Scooter rewrites their history. Lily says, you don't buy tickets to the lobby of the Empire State Building. You buy tickets to get to the top. And therefore, just being in the lobby doesn't count as being as going to the Empire State Building. And then this is when Marshall leans over to the guy who we just saw, the jumper, and says, excuse me, sir, how do you get to the Empire, or can you tell me how to get to the Empire State Building? And he's like, you're in it right now. And he's like, oh, thank you. You are a wise and brilliant man.
Yeah.
And the guy's just like, this is the best day ever. How could I even think about ending it? And he presumably leaves.
Also, this is a good example, people, that you should always be nice people because you never know what the fuck someone is going through.
Exactly. You never know what somebody else is going through. And it's like, some part of me doesn't know how to feel about the gang because, like, they're in their own little world. They don't actually give a fuck about this guy. They're just using him for their, like, to get back at each other. You know what I mean? Like, Ted uses him to get back at Robin, doesn't actually care what's going on with him. Marshall uses him to get back at Lily. And it's just like, if they had done something to that guy that was the opposite, they could have caused him to kill himself.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, pushed him over the edge. Luckily, that's not what happened. It went the good way. But it's like, your actions have consequences, no matter what they are,
That is 100% true.
Yeah. And so, like I said, Lily's still not buying it. But Marshall fighting real hard to convince her that.
He's trying.
That's the thing. Yeah, he's trying. So then Robin.
Also, I love that. Like, this is one of the first times we really hear about Scooter.
Yeah, I think there was like, I feel like there was like at least one other time prior to that. Wait, didn't we see it? Didn't we see him? Did we? Yeah, because they go to when they go back to the high school for the prom.
Oh yeah.
We get like a flashback.
Yeah, you're right.
I think that was the first time. And I don't think we've really had any reference to him since then. So yeah, it's like, I like that they're just kind of peppering in, oh, here's Scooter again. Remember this guy? And he'll pop up again here and there. So they're constantly doing that, and I like that. So then Robin and Katie have a chat. And Robin she doesn't want Katie to make a mistake. She's afraid that she's gonna ruin her life. And then this is where future Ted jumps in
about the never have sex.
Cracks me up every time, where he fucks with his kids, saying, "Well, she did do it, kids, and then she got pregnant and had to move into a trailer and then died an alcoholic."
I mean, it's a funny don't have sex before you're ready speech.
Yeah,
but
it's a total dad thing to do, too. Whoa. It is. It's a total dad thing to do.
Your profile.
Profiling's wrong. But no. I love that scene. It's just because then the kids are like, come on, Dad. What really happened?
Yeah.
One of the few times that we actually get to see the kids react to the story.
Well, season 1 and season 2, they were still live recording the kids.
Yeah.
It's not till like season
But even
3
then,
or 4.
there were plenty of times where they're just sitting there.
Oh, yeah.
Not really reacting. So I wish they had done a bit more of that. And I wish they had filmed more, just like random reactions. Like, we're gonna sit here and we're gonna film 100 random reactions to things. We might use them. We might not.
Hell
And I
yeah.
think that's what they should have done, because they kind of phase the kids out for the most part. You might see them just them sitting there once in a great while, but they barely used them after season 2 because they weren't filming them anymore, because
True
they were
statement.
aging. So I get that. I don't know if they thought it through when they first decided to do this, but that's why I like what they're doing with How I Met Your Father, because
It's the opposite.
Kim
Yeah.
Cattrall, you could go 5-6 seasons. She's not going to look that much different.
No.
You know what I mean? But like kids are going to look very different.
Oh yeah.
Over an 8-year period. It's insane. So yeah, I think they made a good choice on the other show. So, but yeah, so in reality, she did not get pregnant and die. She didn't even go and have sex with Kyle. And apparently it's because of something that Ted said to her. He told her the story of losing his virginity, where he makes himself seem like a total douchebag who just slept with this girl, Molly, and then bounced, borrowed some money from her. Never called her back. Apparently he told her he loved her, but did not. And it's like, to us and to Robin, it's like, that doesn't sound like Ted.
No. And it's weird because when I rewatched this back, I forgot about his story. Nice. So they show it, and I'm like, that doesn't sound like Ted. And then Robin's like, so what really happened? And he really like how it goes down. I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds a lot more.
Oh yeah, because it's completely the opposite. The girl is the one who uses Ted and takes his money and says I love you and doesn't mean it, and goes off into the woods to play with firecrackers.
Fireworks.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Pew pew pew. And so then we find out that Katie told Kyle that she wanted to wait, and he broke up with her because he's a douchebag. He's a complete dickhead. Yeah. And Ted and Robin are hugging, and this is where she says, I love you, for the very first time.
Falafel.
And I love Ted. She's like, I love you. He's just like, I'm gay.
I thought this was a missed opportunity for them to go a different route.
Okay.
What is Ted's all-time favorite movie?
Yeah, Star Wars. He could have done the I know.
He should have fucking Han Solo'd her.
Yeah.
She's like, I love you. And he should have just been like, I know.
Yeah, they went for the obvious, inside the episode joke.
Yep.
But yeah, that would have. I kind of would have liked that, because it would have been, it would have kept it playing sweet, and like it would have been funny, but it would have been less jokey than the I'm gay line, and would have, I think, been even extra sweet, because we know his love for Star Wars.
I mean, I've totally Han Solo'd somebody before.
Nice.
I'm a huge Star Wars fucking nerd, man.
Now, did you do it on the first time that they said it?
Once. I got smacked. It was their first time saying it, though, not mine.
Oh, okay.
I had said it, and she wasn't ready, and I respected that. And I told her to say it when she felt ready, not to feel pressured. So when she finally told me she loved me, I said, I know.
I can respect that.
She goes, and I was like, Han Solo, Star Wars.
I love how you had to explain.
Listen, she was a Zelda fan. I was a Star Wars fan.
Oh, that's just funny. That cracks me up, sir. Cracks me up. So then they all wind up back at the Empire State Building. Marshall ends up admitting that yesterday didn't count as going to the Empire State Building, which allowed
you get all the way up top.
Yeah, which
and Liz is like, I
mean, they didn't even get past the lobby.
No,
that's that, and yeah, this allows his and Lily's story to remain intact. And as they enter the elevator, Ted starts telling them another fun fact, and then they shove him out as the door, which I thought was hilarious. And you know what? Stop with all the fun facts, Ted. I understand, but chill out a little bit. Then at the end, everybody wants to know Barney's story. Finally, he tries to keep using different movies to, as it starts, like Fast Times at Ridgemont High. He does like fucking War Games, which doesn't even have a sex scene, as they say in it.
That doesn't even have a sex scene.
Yeah. And then he finally spills the beans, says he was 23, And it was his mom's 45-year-old divorced friend, Rhonda, who kept calling him Barry. And she smelled like menthol cigarettes.
Yep.
And we do eventually meet her and learn a bit more about this whole story and how it actually happened in the Yips episode.
Yep.
So when that comes up, we'll definitely be talking more about
But I love how even after he tells the story, Marshall's like, or no, Ted's like, tell us about that time again when you were at the Catskills. He's like, it was a great summer, you know.
Yep. I had the time of my life. And that's how the episode ends. I love this episode. It's real fun.
It is.
It's one of those rare kind of like really contained episodes because most of the episode takes place inside that one room.
Yeah,
the lobby of the Empire State Building. So like, and that doesn't happen very often. Usually,
no. And it's one of the few where like there's multiple stories, but they're all the same storyline.
Yeah,
like it's like
that's something I found interesting. Right, they're all trapped in this room together, so you would think it would all just kind of be one big story, which for the most part it is. But they still manage to break off and have separate stories.
Yep.
Too, which I was like, that's really fucking well done. You know what I mean? I thought that was a beautifully done way for this.
So
show.
now, ladies and gentlemen, now that the episode is over, it brings us up to that special part Josh likes to call. Dun dun dun.
Barney's blog. Oh, that's right. Suit up, bitches. You missed your line there, mister.
I know. I'm sorry. I was building the suspense.
You were building the suspense. All right, Barney's blog. We have a brand new one here called Popping Your Big Apple.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, this
Is
was...
it like Barney's Guide to the Big City?
Kind of. Yes, actually. So this one was dated Tuesday, January 9th of 2007. Says, welcome to the greatest city on the planet. Undoubtedly, you'll want to make your first time in New York a memorable and enjoyable experience. I've experienced many, many first-timers. Many. So I'm a natural choice to be your guide. Here's a handy pocket guide to help make your first time in New York a success.
Oh, shit.
And so he gives four things to do here. So first he has the subway. It says your first time on the subway can be risky business, but it's well worth the $2 fare. The same amount of enjoyable work-free shaking would cost you well over $6 in your average motel massage bed. But exercise caution. Touching the third rail can lead to a premature end of your first-time experience. Then we have Broadway show. The Great White Way, the lights, the sounds, the dark hidden crevices of age-old theaters. Musicals tend to be better for first-timers than, say, one-woman shows. Singing and tap dancing provide the perfect cover for you and your partner to hit your own high notes. But remember, don't try to sneak backstage your first time.
That's really funny that he brings up a one-woman show, as that has not happened yet.
No, it has not. United Nations. New York is the capital of the world. You'll certainly want to taste her international flavors. While it's great to exercise your diplomatic skills with people from around the world, be sure to wrap yourself in your nation's flag for protection. You don't want your first foreign experience to be your last. No need to worry about communication barriers. The language of love is universal. And I find this funny because, later on, we find out that Barney is kind of like sexually trying to complete the globe, essentially.
Yes, he is.
So I thought that was kind of a nice little, whether it was a foreshadow or not, it links up later on. And then the last one is Museum of Modern Art. New York is renowned both for its modernity and its art. Combine the two and visit the world-famous Museum of Modern Art. There, first-timers can create their own modern art masterpieces. Several lucky ladies have credited yours truly with inspiring their own artistic awakenings. Be wary of the security staff, and remember, Flash photography is permitted, but be sure to ask before you touch anything. So
Those are great bylaws.
That, folks, was Barney's blog for this episode. Before we wrap up, John, what were your thoughts on the episode? We didn't actually talk about that.
Oh yeah, shit, I skipped over that.
That's okay.
I mean, I love this episode. Like you said, it's a fun one, and it goes by really, really quick. But it's a really great episode overall.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was well done. We talked a bit about that. I thought the writing was really, really well done, and we got to meet, some more stuff. We got to find out some more stuff about Robin. Got to meet her sister and everything like that, and we get to dive into a little bit of Barney's past, which is always nice.
I was gonna say, we get a little bit of backstories off like Marshall, Lily, Robin, and Barney. This one, Ted's just kind of still Ted, but I mean, it is what it is.
That's true. Though we do get to see him in that top bunk. So
that is true.
But that's I think all I got. You got anything else that you want to add about this episode?
No, sir.
All right. So why don't you let everybody know where they can find you on the internet?
Ladies and gentlemen, hop on over on the Twitter. Find me at Simply Sane J1. It corresponds with my podcast and my blog, Simply Sane with Jay, the Not Your Mama podcast. You can find me guest appearing once in a while on the Merc with the Movie blog trailer reactions. I plan on being on a few more of those coming up.
I'm going to get you on some actual movie reviews too.
Yes. And don't forget to jump on over to Off the Ropes with John and Josh, the wrestling podcast that Josh and I do, where you can hear us talk about wrestling, and all things that are wrestling related.
That's right. Damn right. And you can find me on Twitter at JP Raynor. That's JPRAYNOR, as well as right down here at Movie Blog Merc. That is the Twitter page for my site, Merc the Movie Blog. If you are watching this on YouTube, you are on the Merc the Movie Blog YouTube channel. Be sure to hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and click that little bell, whatever the fuck it is on the screen. And if you're listening on podcast form, you can head over to anchor.fm/off, or I always had the wrong one. Anchor.fm/last call HIMYM. You can leave us a voice message over there. And if you're on Apple or Spotify, you can leave a 5-star review. And if you leave a written review, we will actually read it out on air.
We've done it.
Well, yeah, we've done that quite a few times.
We love hearing from everybody, whether it's you like what you're listening to, or maybe we made a mistake and you want to correct us. Yeah. I mean, come on, people, reach out. We want to hear from you.
That's right. And all of that kind of stuff, it really helps kind of boost us in the algorithm for, the likes and the subscribes and everything. And even comments on YouTube help us to move up and get noticed more. And definitely on the podcast, the 5-star reviews and the written reviews really help to boost us in the algorithm.
Also,
and get us noticed.
Start letting us know where you guys are listening from. I kind of want to know where our viewers are coming from.
Yeah.
So please, if you're listening, reach out to us on Twitter, reach out to us on anchor.fm, reach out to us on wherever you can, YouTube. Just leave us comments. I want to know where you guys are.
Yeah, apparently there's like a 5% contingency in Germany. So
that is awesome.
Which I thought was kind of interesting. It's like, well,
I'm
curious. Did any of you go to a cupcake fellowship?
Meine Name ist John. Ich liebe dich.
Ich liebe dich.
Ich liebe dich.
Yeah. Ich liebe dich.
Die Kugelschreiber.
I don't know what that one is, but
I'm pretty sure Kugelschreiber is a pencil.
Oh.
Or it was the pen.
All of our German fans can inform us how badly John is butchering their language with any message of any of those ways. And be sure to follow us on Twitter at Last Call HIMYM, where you can, in fact, tell us whether or not John was butchering the German language. Outside of that, I ain't got anything else for him, John. What do you got for him?
Listen, people, you don't have to go home, but you can't listen here.
Catch you next time.